Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the CKC channel. I'm your host, FIDE Master Calvin Klaassen, and welcome to another episode of Reflections, Season 4. So, yes, we've started off quite nicely. This evening is another special episode. We have an Olympiad player. We have a SA University champion, and also an in-law of mine. I'll let Dr. Bauer do the full introduction, but don't forget to throw in your questions in the chat box. We'll use those questions in about around the 20 to 25 minute mark. So don't delay. Throw in the questions early. And if you are new to the show, don't forget to press the follow button. And yeah, without further ado, we will go over to the studio and over to Dr. Bauer.
Thank you. Good evening, Calvin, and good evening, viewers. It's great being here. We're in season 4, and it's episode 2 of the Reflections that started in 2020. And tonight, for the second week in a row, so we're having a nice consecutive little run there, a streak in chess, they call it. We're having a female chess player, and she's an Olympiad player. She's a South African Universities champion. She was also twice an African champion in her age group in Botswana back in 2009, and then also an African student champion. And tonight it gives me great pleasure to welcome woman FIDE Master Lauren Willenberg. Lauren, welcome to the Reflection Show tonight.
Wow, thank you for that introduction. Thanks for having me here.
Lauren, now I've been privileged to probably have seen you grow up for the last 30 odd years or so that you've been around. But where did you learn to play chess?
Well, my dad, Lorenzo van die Kerk, he's definitely the one that's taught us how to play chess, that's been teaching us how to play chess, and even though still now showing us games on how to play chess. So I think you might have also had a role in me becoming a chess player because of your friendship with my dad as well. So that's where that comes from.
No, fantastic. Now, Lauren, I recall in your younger days, you guys played out in Mossel Bay in the southwestern districts where you grew up. But one thing that struck me was that I couldn't remember that you played in girls' events. I kind of recall that you played in open. About what made you decide to play in those open events?
I think also because my dad would be like, "Oh, you're good for a girl." And you're just like, "I'm not good for a girl. I'm actually kind of good, you know." So yeah, so we play those open events for that reason, I suppose, because chess is a game that's not exactly physical, so there shouldn't be much difference between the men and the women, and also age-wise as well. I think I just took pleasure in playing the older guys and beating them as well, because this literally, it's just a mind game.
Sure. Now, what were your first memories of your early tournaments? Which one sort of, I mean, you played a lot of tournaments, so which one in your view would like stand out for a memorable or historic moment if you think back?
I think my first tournament I played, my dad often says I started too early because I lost probably all my games and I cried so hard. So that was my, but I think something that stands out for me was when we were playing SWD Open, and the guys from PE and Cape Town and all of those places came down. And I was playing Yanni Safir. And I remember this because he's got no hair and you see the sweating coming down on his forehead. And I was winning the game. I think I went to look up somewhere and he wanted to make another move after touching a piece. And then I just look up, small little girl telling him touch is a move. And he's just like looking at me like, what? So I think that was one of the most exciting memories as a child playing in tournaments.
Well, you are right. Touch is a move, and you got to enforce these things, so, Lauren, what was your sort of first success at junior level that you recall? Because I recall traveling with you to Botswana in 2009 in your age group, but I mean, prior to that, you were already making waves on the South African scene. So what was your first tournament success?
I think when we started playing SWD, like you said, we didn't get the women's prizes or the female prizes. We were actually ending in the top three in the senior events as well, with my dad taking first. And then I suppose SWD level, then going to nationals and so on. And I traveled to France, I think it was in 2008 or 2009 as well. So that was in, yeah, I think that was one of my earliest ones. And of course, when I won that championship in 2009, it was, I think, the first major one for me to come first with the female under 16 South African championships, because in that year, actually, they combined the under 20, under 18, and under 16s. So I was actually finishing in the top with the under 20s as well, but of course, they split the prizes in your age groups. And so I think from there, my junior successes started.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a fantastic achievement. And I mean, if I think about that tournament in Botswana that we traveled to, I mean, you had some great games there because you were playing very attacking chess. Now, do you consider yourself an attacking player?
Actually, not. What happened that year was because previously I played, my dad always calls it light games. I'd exchange often, going to an end game, kind of like clean, kind of, playing out in the end game and so on. But that year I started studying Spassky. So that changed a lot. I think it changed my play a lot, gave me a lot of creative ideas. So I was enjoying chess. I mean, I've always enjoyed it, but I think at a different dimension to my game, because I didn't mind now giving up a piece, or sometimes blundering a piece and then coming back into the game. But I mean, I had that fighting spirit, that energy. I think it was great studying Spassky at the time.
Great. Well, Lauren, if I think about it, I mean, Spassky was known as a universal player. And of course, I mean, he loved his King's Gambit, and he loved these tactical melees. What other grandmasters influenced you as you were growing up?
So
I mean, the ones you studied.
Yeah. So I, of course, studied people like Bobby Fischer and Karpov. But I think the player that was kind of related to my style the most was probably Capablanca, because of that. I used to just say it's like smooth, simple, kind of open, exchanging, simple kind of games. So I enjoyed him a lot. I think I related to him a lot. Smysdorf as well. And then just a little bit of Alekhine, but I think I should have done a bit more of Alekhine just to, put that spice in the game. But yeah, then Spassky also came into the mix a bit later. And even Kramnik for a while, I studied some of Kramnik's games.
Well, because of course you were of that age when Kramnik was coming up, beating Kasparov.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's so in other words, you've got a nice, shall I call it a classical chess education? Would you say?
Oh no, definitely. My dad made sure of that. I think together with your library and his library, I can't not know the world champions.
No, good for you. Now, Lauren, if you think back, which of the books that you've ever studied, if you can name 2 or 3, has influenced your thinking? You mentioned Spassky's books now, that games you were studying, but what other books, in your view, influenced your thinking?
Definitely the Art of Attack. I remember as a youngster going through that red one, the Art of Attack. So that was kind of cool for me to go through, because I never had that instinct, that attacking instinct, kind of going for the cutthroat killing. Because I used to enjoy doing those combination books, the puzzle books that we had. So those were fun for me. But in my games, I never had that. But funny enough, that helped me then predict kind of what my opponent would be doing. So it would help me become solid and not attacking, which it's supposed to do, but it would help me predict what my opponent is going to do in his attack. So then I would kind of lure my opponent in to attack me, neutralize that, and then his structure would just be awful after the attack, and I take it from there. So I think that was, it helped me in that sense, yeah.
Well, I can well believe it. So Lauren, if I think now about your chess career, you've played at the junior levels, you were a junior champion, and then of course you became an African champion. But you also went to play in 2012 in the World Team Championships in Turkey. And that
Yes.
was your sort of your senior pro tier debut, if I can put it that. What were your memories of that trip? I think you were with Anzel, Denise, and I think it was Celeste. Was the other
Cecile.
person?
Cecile was with
Cecile.
us, yeah. Yeah, that was really a fun trip. And I think, like you say, that was my debut into senior chess at an international level. So traveling with a much smaller team as well. It was the support is great because you go to an event like that and you are playing the world's best females in, like, the world. So in African tournaments or South African tournaments, you're used to scoring or like placing, you're aiming for that goal. And going to a world event like that, it was a little bit tough to not be putting any points on the board. But I must say the support when the team is so intimate, that was something that was great for me. And then, of course, I was traveling with people like Auntie Denise, also Denise Bauer, Dr. Denise Bauer. I've known her my whole life. So that was also a memory that stood out to me. But what I really enjoyed was going there. There were banners throughout the whole city. We played in Marden, I think the place's name was. And there were banners about the tournament that was going on, and there were children running up to us, asking us like where we're from. Chess players, they're so inspired. And so that was amazing to see, and it's something that stuck by me like forever.
Well, I can well believe that. Now you were also, you got two other sisters that also played chess, but you were the first one to make that African headway, and then later on your Megan, we interviewed, she won the WIM, but you also played at the Olympiad. I think it was 2016 in Azerbaijan.
Yes. Yeah.
Tell us
No,
a bit
that
about
was
that.
quite fun. Well, I got to meet the world's best. You see them in all these books, you see them on the internet, and all of a sudden, Magnus Carlsen is sitting right there. It's so mind-blowing. And the Russian teams, just the aura they have around them, Russia and China, I remember, they were just like serious. So, the aura you feel from them is like this power just in their presence. So that was really great to experience.
Now, Lauren, you've mentioned the Russian and Chinese teams. Is it true that you can speak a bit of Chinese?
Yeah, I can speak a bit of Chinese. I study Chinese medicine, so I kind of have to speak Chinese, and also took part in a Chinese language competition not too long ago.
Now, I was reading something about that recently because I was doing my research for this, and I recall that I think you come first in that Chinese language competition.
I did. I was so surprised. I initially took part, just because UWC needed someone to represent them. They were hosting it, so they needed someone to represent. And I thought, well, I suppose I should be able to do this. I'm studying Chinese medicine. I know some of the culture. But they are really serious with their preparations. My teachers were amazing. We did about 2 to 4 hour classes every single day, and it was just intense. And I didn't plan on placing. I just, like I say, representing, because everyone else is studying their honors or their masters in the language. And I'm just studying their medicine, and I know a little bit of Mandarin. So, but the teachings and the trainings were intense. And when they read out the prize winners, they don't do it like we do. They don't say, okay, in 4th place is so, and 3rd place is so. They just start, okay, in 1st place, Lauren Willenberg. And my mind was blown. I couldn't believe it. So yeah, that was exciting.
No, I can well believe it. Now, have you visited China or any city in China yet?
No, I haven't. I definitely want to. There are some scholarships available because of winning that championship. So I'm definitely looking at it, but I haven't been there yet, unfortunately.
Well, I think when you do decide to go, you must talk to me, because one of the things, Lauren, is the Western Cape provincial government has a sister agreement with the province of Shandong in China, and Shandong is also the place where Confucius came from as well. So if you ever decide to go, do let our international relations department know, and we will put you in touch with our colleagues on that side.
Oh, that's amazing. I'll definitely remember that.
No, please do. And I will tell you that if you do have the chance to go to China, grab it with both hands, because I spent 10 wonderful days in China visiting Beijing, Weifang, Qingdao, and Jinan. Those are the 4 cities that I visited in China. But if you can, please continue on that one. Now, Lauren, you also played for 2 chess clubs, really, UWC, because you're studying there. And then there's a chess club in Cape Town called MRL. Now, I'm not sure what the L stands for in MRL. Maybe you'd like to tell us a bit about MRL Chess Club.
So my coach and mentor likes to believe it stands for Mr. L, but it actually stands for Megan, Robin, and Lauren. Because we initiated the club.
So you're the L in MRL.
Yes, because we figured our surnames would change over time, so we can't exactly put a surname to it, so we just put our initials there.
All right, no, super. Now tell us a bit about MRL, because when I sort of saw MRL coming into the league, they sort of started in the 4th division, then they went to the 3rd division, and what happened? Because at that stage it looked to me like Megan, Robin, Lauren, Lorenzo, and somebody's cousin, they're all playing, and then they're all coming up. So tell us a bit about that.
It was quite interesting because we used to play for a club called Timberwolves, and then somehow they just dissipated, and we decided, okay, let's start a club, just start our own club. So myself and my sisters, we started this club with 2 other members from our high school. I think it was Gerald Carlse and Tyrone. I can't remember his surname now, but that was our team in the beginning. It was only 5 players, and even sometimes we struggled to fill a team because the school events and so on would clash with the team. So sometimes we play a player down. Sometimes we'd import my cousin that only learned how to play chess when he was younger because my dad insisted. So he just knew how the pieces moved, but at least he filled the seat. And, of course, our super sub coming in from abroad, usually my dad coming in when he can. But yeah, we were never taken seriously, in fact, in the D division. Always made fun of our other clubs, this girly team or, small girlies playing chess. And then we won the D division, went into the C division. We won the C division, got into the B division, and Dion Pick was also part of our team then. Dion Pick and another SWD player as well. I think George Lovelot also came in. So we had a lot of we had diversity in our club as well. And then they were telling us, look out for Steiners, which is of course a thorn in the side. You can't deny that. And then UCT as well. Those were the top clubs we were looking at. But then even then we made it past that. We won that division as well. So it was great. So every division we played in, we won that until we made it into the Premier. And our debut in the Premier left us in 6th place, which wasn't bad. The year after that, we got 3rd, and the year after we actually won it. So I'm quite proud with my sisters what we've accomplished in that aspect with our club.
No, and as you should be. I mean, listening to that coming from the 4th division, as you said, a little girly team there, but then that little girly team just became a heavy hitting team, and then you guys proceeded. So well done. And of course, that was 2017 when MRL won the Premier Division of the Western Province League, and I mean that was just fantastic. Lauren, and this year you are you nearly done with your studies, and are you still playing for UWC?
So I finished my studies. It's difficult to say when because of this pandemic. I feel like the time, we're just living in a warp. But I submitted my thesis, I think last year, January. So we graduated in May. So I'm officially done with my studies, looking forward to practicing and so on. So that's exciting. So yeah,
Super.
I'm not playing for UFC anymore, I suppose, because I'm done studying now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So it's probably back to MRL now as the home club, as it were, on that
Yeah, no,
side.
definitely.
Now, Lauren, if you think back now about, because you've had now a lovely career in terms of where you were playing, both here at home in Cape Town, both in Africa and South Africa, what would you say was your favorite tournament? If you think about all the places you've traveled to in South Africa and abroad, which one would you think was your favorite tournament and why?
Probably the one in Greece. Oh, I don't even, it was also a junior tournament, 2010. It came after Botswana, I think. I'm not sure. I can't remember the timeline, but that was when I was traveling
Sure.
the most with chess, 2010, 2009, 2011. But yeah, no, Greece is a beautiful place. Oh my goodness, we got to see so many things there. My mom, in fact, drove a car in Greece and we were driving on the wrong side of the road. So that was crazy as well. So yeah, I think those experiences were great. And also the people I was there with. So, fun and fresh and light-hearted. The people in Greece as well. The shawarmas were amazing. I think they're the best at it. It was so delicious. I remember till today, and I haven't had one that's like even close in taste. So yeah, no, definitely hands down Greece. I enjoyed Greece the most.
Okay. Well, it looks like I will have to book a little tournament in Greece at some stage and maybe take my wife with and just go see these Greek islands that you guys are talking about.
I definitely recommend it. Definitely.
Well, we'll do that. So, Lauren, I'm going to hold fire for two or 3 minutes, and then I'm going to just ask Calvin if he wishes to come in. Calvin, Clausen, any questions in the chat room? I still have a few questions before we go to some great games. Yep. Calvin is about to join us.
Yeah, all right, interesting stuff. Thanks everyone. And we've got a couple of questions in the chat box. Thanks for the questions thus far, guys. Let's see, who's the first one? From the Mindstein, or Mindstein. Question is this is for both of you guys, actually, to Dr. Linden and WFM Lauren. Do you think that the difference in the rating between women's titles and men's titles is justified? It's a bit of a deep question. You guys can, answer it the way you want to. I've got my own views on that as well, but I'm keen to hear what you guys have to say about that. Don't know who wants to start.
I think that's a Lauren question.
I think it's a gray area almost, because there's so many aspects to that question when you say justified. Because different, you can speak about in South African context, women and men, different responsibilities. The woman stays maybe at home and works on a career, but so do guys also work on their careers. But internationally, chess is a career. So I mean, when you are taking that responsibility and playing chess, I don't know, I think we should putting them at a similar level, because they're putting in the same energies. I would think that's my opinion.
Okay, thanks. Anything from your side, Dr. Bo?
I think it's a good question. I will have to think about it and get back to you at the end of the season, Calvin.
Yeah, no, always politically correct over there. Thanks, Lyndon. Yeah, I think what just maybe also plays a factor is the numbers in it. One would have to take some senses in how many female players there are and how many guys there are actually. But yeah, that's an age-old question. Anyways, thanks for the question in the chat. And then the next one is from M Grande. What was it like meeting Grandmasters at the Olympiad, Lauren?
Oh, that was just something else, because it wasn't just even the Grandmasters that I got to meet. It's the people that are doing these live streams, like Daniel King and Maurice Ashley and those kind of people, which they talk a lot. So it's amazing being in their presence as well, and just seeing chess as almost as a like a red carpet event. You see the cameras and the camera crews with their mics going to the various grandmasters, asking them about their games. So I think the whole atmosphere there felt like I was at a like a red carpet event for chess. So that was great.
Okay, fantastic. Yes, of course, a wonderful experience. And now, for now, the last question in the chat. This is from Sean Willenberg. Welcome, Sean. And he says, Lauren, your baby Katie, will she be playing chess?
She already knows how to defend her pieces. She kind of puts a dome over them. She packs them nicely. She knows their names, so she doesn't want to lose them, which is a good sign.
There you have it, guys. So thanks for that. Thanks to the people in the chat. Thanks, Lauren. And yeah, if you guys still have questions, throw them in there. We might have some moments later on. Oh, and then one more question. Boom Shaka, my apologies. She had one earlier on. Let's see. So Boom Shaka said, what is the nicest thing about playing with your sisters? Double question mark.
Coming from a sister, that question though. I think I haven't played a game against my sisters in such a long time, and when I did, it was recently with a Paradigm Chess 30. So, but I think when you are competitive, it's a touch and go situation, because sometimes you're on someone's bad side because you are beating them, or you beat them in a tournament and they could have placed, or so it's very difficult sometimes. But I think also we learn to understand each other differently because of that competitive level we are at. And I think also as we've grown up, I think the competition has kind of subsided and it's turned into more kind of support. So I think when I was younger, I would have probably been like, okay, who's the best? But now it's just like, how are you doing? How can we help you improve your chess? So I think as you get older, it improves your understanding of each other. And we know when you lose a game, it's not easy. And who better to support you than another chess player?
Okay, thanks. There we go. So there we have it. And that's all from me for now in the chat. I'll hand over to you, Dr. Bauer.
Thank you very much. So Lauren, let's just go back to that, shall we call it, sibling rivalry there in the junior years. And now when you guys realize that you guys are paired against one another, what did you generally do? I mean, I'm talking now like when you're like 12 or 13. I'm not talking now about now, but what was the feeling like when you saw L van Niekerk versus R van Niekerk, or whatever it may have been, M van Niekerk?
Look, it didn't come as a surprise because we were all winning our games. We were all playing, good chess in whatever category we were playing in. So we knew we were going to come up against each other some other time. So luckily it wasn't a surprise. And what was nice was because my dad was our coach, we kind of got the afternoon off really, because we're like, okay, I'm not going to prep you against your opponent. You guys did all the prep work at home. You just play now. So as far as prep went, it was a lot more relaxed. But I think because we play a lot against each other, there were a lot of sparring games and so on. So maybe it felt a little informal, because sometimes we giggle. We don't even want to shake each other's hands. We're like, that's so formal, So we, giggle a bit. But then after that, then my dad says, good luck and kill each other. So, so we take it on the chessboard, and whatever happens on the chessboard happens. And, we say no hard feelings, but sometimes they are, but it blows over.
Sure. No, perfectly understood. And I suppose that is with all sibling rivalry in that regard. I mean, at some stage, you got to face each other at the board as well. Now, Lauren, if you think about here in South Africa, how would you, as a female player and an Olympiad player and champion, what would you do now as the next level of improvement? Is it studying of books? Is it the usage of chess base or engines? What would you tell the younger Lauren? What should she do to improve even faster or more effectively?
I think something that I've seen also today is when there's inspiration, you can do anything. So watching these guys play, and online, I mean, back in the day, it wasn't so nice. We couldn't watch all these things online. We couldn't watch all the commentary, like almost feel the atmosphere while you're watching these things. So I think turn to online devices. I think that would help a lot because I was looking at books and, nuns opening or, looking where the lines fill into the other lines. And so that becomes a little bit tedious after a while. So I think studying well, if I had to tell myself, my younger self now, I would focus more on studying theory of the game via digital tools and so on, watching videos, and because it's a lot more exciting.
Sure. Favorite current player?
I'm going to say Magnus Carlsen, and I know it's like, okay, that's a given. But I like his on the board play as well, and because I think I went to the Olympiad as well, I like the off the board order as well. It's not too arrogant, but it's very confident. So I think I like that. I definitely do like that.
Sure. Female player?
Female player, I haven't looked into chess like for a while now. So the last female player that I liked when I was very engaged with chess was Aoi Fan. So
Okay.
I used to enjoy watching her.
Sure. And of course, at the age of 26, she became Professor Hao Yifan as yeah, there in China. Now, Lauren, I've been watching and commentating on some of the paradigm chess games, and I recall a game recently, probably as a month ago, that you played against one of your opponents, very strong student, and but you just dramatically attacked him and mated him in short order. Now, I was thinking now, paradigm chess is already creative, and here you were just attacking. And so, what would you tell the viewers a bit about paradigm chess and your views on it?
Yeah, no, but that's why I say that inspiration, because when I play paradigm chess, I feel inspired to, just make something new because it is something new. So I think with this paradigm chess 30, because there is a new piece. So the bishop now is a bishop combined with a Chinese knight. So it can't jump over pieces, but it does move like a knight. So I feel like that, and the fact that it's shuffled as well to 30 positions. So the king and the rook stay on the same spots, but the position is shuffled as well. So in my younger days, I suppose, I feel like I lacked opening theory, I suppose, wanting to study that opening theory, but I always thought I was really creative. And I feel like this chess just allows me to, be creative. It's, no one's going to judge you for the silly ideas that you come up with. And it's just so exciting. And if something goes wrong, it's like, so what? Let's just try again. And I think that's what excites me, the fact that I'm able to just be creative. And I've literally blasted top players with playing this paradigm chess 30, and it's literally fire on the chessboard.
No, I can well believe that from what I see in the games there, because some games short order and then it's like all over, and then your opponent doesn't know what hit him. Normally more than her, but it's mostly a him. Now, Lauren, what's in the pipeline for this year in terms of chess wise? Are you? I mean, hopefully we will have some normal tournaments. What are your thoughts in terms of playing this year?
So I haven't thought of playing myself. I'm more supporting my husband playing. He's really getting into the chess. He's won tournaments now also recently, and he's just kind of getting his form. So I'm supporting him there on that one. And then also just really getting my practice up and running and those kind of things. But of course, if the opportunity arises and we do have a babysitter and we can both play, I'm gonna go for it. I'm just gonna have fun with it.
No. I think that is because I can tell you. I mean, I played my first tournament in October last year, first tournament in 2 years, and felt a bit strange playing with a mask. I must tell you, I must still get used to that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing some real tournaments again. I actually can't wait to see if I can still remember what the King's Indian and Sicilian looks like and all these things. So we look forward to that. Now, Lauren, I just want to check with Calvin. Any further questions? Because I'd like to go over to the games, Calvin. So we can go over to the games, Lauren. So are you ready for us, Lauren? Shall we go to lead chess?
Yes, we can go there.
Super. So which one would you like to do first, Lauren? There are two games tonight for the viewers to look at, and Calvin will move the pieces and Lauren will tell us where this game was played. Let's just get it set up on the board, and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah, so we got the board, guys. I just had to step out for a second. Just we have one last question over here. I don't know if you covered it. It's Boomshaka asked, do you plan on getting back into chess, Lauren?
Yeah, no, so I think we kind of
we basically covered
Yeah.
that, right? Yeah, okay, thanks. Okay, so
We covered that one, yeah, with my last question. Yeah.
yes, that's what I assumed when I got back. I kind of heard the end of that. So okay, so which game are we starting with? Which tournament
I think
is this?
the African under-16 girls.
Okay,
So
great.
so is this the one in Botswana?
Yes.
Yeah. So I must just tell the viewers, very exciting, because South Africa came back with over 23 medals in that particular event, and of course Lauren contributed to that medal tally as well. So really exciting, and I think, Lauren, there was one game that you needed to win, and you kind of sacrificed or dropped a piece, but it was actually a sacrifice. We know that, you and I.
I actually, in fact, remember that's why I'm showing this game, because I had to win this game. You know, to come first, I had to win this game, and I was on a roll. I've won all my other games, and you know, that kind of puts you in a different headspace sometimes. And I had learned some things, and you know, gone through some ideas, got a bit carried away, and then this game happened. So we can have a look at this game.
Now let's have a look there. Calvin, you can start, and then Lauren, you playing the black pieces.
Yes, I'm playing the black pieces.
Okay, so you can just
Yeah,
let us
so
know, Lauren, when you want us to slow down, perhaps. You can guide us.
No, so I used to play the Sicilian, and so obviously a lot of these people knew that as well, because my repertoire wasn't that broad. And I was looking at some Kasparov games also, you know, different ideas. But yeah, this bishop c5 was what I normally play. The knight usually drops back, bishop goes to e7. Sometimes it can go to a7, but I prefer e7. So yeah, so then this is all just normal opening moves over here. So bishop g5. Let's see what happened here. So I think this was also around 8 of the tournament. You can keep going.
But this is like a normal position in the Sicilian.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I just got so carried away with different ideas, with the bishop having to drop back or the knight having to drop back to f8 sometimes, you know, just to keep it solid there. Like I mentioned before, I would rather wait for the attack, let the attack die down, and then do my thing after that. So I think I just lost my head a bit, but you can go on with the next few moves. So this b5, it's the idea to get the bishop there to b7. So then knight c5, knight takes. Okay, let's see, e5. So I'm not sure what I was thinking, because I'm always aware of the bishop going to e5 or e4. We can go on. Let's see. So then after pawn takes, and then I drop back. So yeah, I think I played too fast. Yeah, I just got too comfortable in this position, and I played knight to d7. So rook takes bishop. I think it was rook takes bishop, and here queen to e4. And my heart literally stopped, because I thought, here goes my whole tournament. I just drop a piece. And in fact, I remember Uncle Lyndon, you and my dad, you walked out of the hall at this moment.
Yes.
Because I I just felt so bad. And I remember you joked, you said you and my dad went to have a whiskey somewhere because you guys were just so distraught. I was, on a roll, and all of a sudden I'm dropping a rook. Yeah. So which is what happened. I dropped the rook.
Yeah.
But I think that fighting spirit is what got me out of this little mess that I got into. So let's see. I stopped the mate. I played e6. So queen obviously takes. So I'm not going to go down without a fight. I go knight takes e5. So she retreats with the queen again. So yeah, this is, I suppose, what I'm speaking about. Creativity. I gotta always think of something. So I go f5 over here, just attacking the queen, because now I don't have anything to lose. And I think that's when I play my best chess, when I've got nothing to lose. So now I bring my bishop out to b7, kind of, just developing, but also disguising what my plan actually is. So she goes a4, and I think for her, she thinks she's already winning, and she's, I don't know if she has a clear plan yet here. So she goes a4, I go knight g4. I'm obviously just going for the king, but my pieces don't look like they're coordinating well. She goes knight d1. Again, I think she wants to stop me from coming in here. So she played knight. So after my next move, I remember she gave me the death stare. Because after the next move, she's got to give something back, eh? So she goes,
wait, Lauren, so you have now played queen d6, which threatens mate on the move, and g3 is impossible because it's pinned.
Yeah. So that sneaky bishop to b7 over there, that's just, setting everything up. I think if I had done it in a different move order, she might have seen, but because I played that move early, I don't think she even noticed it. So my knight looked like it was coming in to do different things. But in the meantime, that pin on that pawn was quite vital.
Wow.
Okay, so she has
queen
to give
takes
up
knight is forced.
Yeah, wow.
Queen takes knight is forced.
Okay.
And in fact, I think that you guys might have come back at that position even into the tournament hall. And I could see on your faces, you were so confused. You didn't understand what was happening, and all of a sudden. But I think we also both started feeling the time pressure here, because, when you make a blunder, you spend a lot of time trying to get yourself out of it in your mind. And so it didn't happen for me, but then this came up for me, and obviously she took some time over here as well. So we can go on. Yeah, and I think so of course she's now going to look at a piece for the queen. But also what I noticed is psychologically, when you are winning and your opponent equalizes, it feels like you're losing all of a sudden. Even though you might not be material down, but because you were winning, your opponent found something, you feel like you're losing. So I think that's also what happened here. But I was also playing quite actively. So let's see. So I'm just pushing pawns here. Yeah. So I'm just going for the king. Because I felt like I lost my title, and all of a sudden I can get it back.
Yes, of course.
There we go. Mate on the board again.
Yeah.
Give 2. Okay. Pawn is marching.
Oh no.
Yeah, so let's see, look at 7. Yes, I think she wanted me to take on h3, then at least she has that bishop to f3, then neutralizing my diagonal. So I obviously didn't go for that. And then mate was coming up.
Bishop d3, e2.
Yeah, so I don't think there's not much you can do here to stop the mate.
Okay, nice.
Wow.
Took you only a few moves to come back after being a rook down. Nice comeback.
Yeah, Lauren, I remember this game very well, and I can tell you, I thought you were dead lost after queen e4.
I was, but I wasn't.
Nice comeback, Lauren.
No, no.
Thanks.
This is the game that got you the African youth title in that year.
Yeah, I think I drew the game after this, but I knew after this game, because I was so far into the tournament and looking at everybody else's results, this was a vital game. Yeah, this was definitely a vital game.
I think for me, Calvin and Lauren, it shows a fighting spirit, because I mean, you could have just collapsed, and yet you decided to just play hard and just see what you can do. So maybe there's something for the viewers out there to know, that you still should give it your all. I mean, knight g4 and queen d6 looks sort of an easy type checkmate, but it actually proved to be hard to stop.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I was, I had to kind of catch my heart and put it back into my body somewhere, because initially I couldn't believe I lost my rook. Then I couldn't believe there was a checkmate on the board, winning the queen back. And all of a sudden it was, unequal. And so there was a lot of adrenaline in this game, which made it exciting for me.
100%. All right, let's look at the next one.
Okay, let's switch over to the next game.
So where was this game played, Lauren?
So this game, I remember Megan, my sister, Megan played in Durban. I think it was the World Youth happening in Durban at the time. And then she met myself and Robin was playing in Abu Dhabi. I think that was also another a junior event, international junior event. And then off the back of that, we had to come back into the SA Closed. And I think this was one of the SA Closed I performed the worst in. In fact, Robin came second year in this SA Women's Closed in Cape Town. In town, I think maybe at the Fountain Hotel somewhere there.
Yep.
So but I had some good wins in the tournament as well. So my tournament as a whole wasn't so great, but I beat the players that placed, which was cool.
Yep. Okay, so this game is from 2013, the SA Closed trials held in Cape Town.
Okay,
right, let's take it. Lauren is white in this game.
Yeah, so I suppose also you become familiar with your opponents, especially in a closed event. Because at the time there weren't a lot of female players playing, but who the top female players are. So the openings were also pretty standard. Castle. Takes.
So we have the Queen's Gambit position where the f4 bishop looks slightly better than the c8 bishop over there. That's one detail in that position, the rook d8.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a less crazy game, I suppose, compared to the previous one.
Okay, so you're saying you're not gonna be a rook down at some point?
Unfortunately not. So I'm not gonna be that creative.
No. Okay. Anyways.
But I got to be able to play normal chess as well. So.
Okay, bishop g5, h6.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I took the knight there, so I was surprised that she took back with the pawn, unless I missed something here.
If she takes with a queen, then you've got knight e4.
I remember, yes. Okay.
And then knight takes d5 because of bishop takes f7 check.
Pick up the
queen. Yes. Oh no, that's right. Okay. So so I enjoyed the damaging the pawn structure here.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, the knight swings in.
I suppose with that knight gone there on f6, it allows a lot for me.
Whoa. Okay. A nice discovered over there.
Yeah. I think it's, when there's a discovered attack, sometimes I feel like even if I'm not winning anything, I must make use of it.
Use it. Queen d4, and it seems like you're trying to utilize these light squares. Like it's missing.
Funny enough, again, with my previous game as well.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, rook c7, knight h4. Knights love these double pawns.
Yeah.
Knight is destined for f5. Okay. Mate in 1.
So I think the dancing with the queen here was entertaining for me as well.
H4, queen H5. You can let me know when I should pause at some
Yeah,
moment, but
let's just pause there for a moment because yeah, so okay, so sure, my goodness, that
Yeah,
queen, the
because
queen,
she's got to stop the mate all the time.
yes,
Yeah. Or even if the knight comes back into f5, even after the queen's checked on h7, so this queen is just hanging around here because you got to do some defending, and it's the only queen really, only piece defending the king as well. So I think that's also why all my pieces are aimed at the king, but the queen is the only defender, and I think at some point she just got overloaded.
yes,
So I think the next move then just wins a piece over here.
okay, so
sure,
you utilize the discovered again over there, and this time it's fatal. Okay.
yeah.
So yeah, so I think the game doesn't last much longer. I suppose also she tried to after queen, was I play queen d7?
Yeah.
And then I think rook to d8 possibly, and then my queen just starts back defending the bishop as well. And the game was over.
Aha. Okay, so that was a quick one. I think that tactic on the C file that Dr. Boa spotted really yeah, as soon as the double pawns came in, you were in a very dominating position. Nice swift attack over there.
Yeah, I think Lauren, for me, the fact that you were able to execute with knight d5 and just your technique on the light squares is an important lesson, Calvin, that players can actually note, because once that double pawns came, then Lauren has shown the technique on the light squares.
Yes, and
yeah, and I think also the fact that she didn't have any pieces on the king side to defend, she only had a queen there, also proved to be problematic.
Sure. No, I mean, wonderful game on that side, Lauren. So I think next time we invite you to the reflections, you'll actually have to show more games.
I think that my games where there's dragons on the board, you should see those games.
So I think next time we will have to show the viewers one of those dragon games. You're right, Lauren. I think Calvin will have to have a special week of dragon games on that side.
Definitely. Viewers can also go on the YouTube channel, CKC YouTube channel. You will also find lots and lots of those games. So it's out there, guys. You can definitely check it out on YouTube as well. Yeah, but nice game over here. You don't even need the rook on A1 over there. So well played in these two games. Interesting games.
But Calvin, isn't it true that Lauren doesn't play with the rooks?
Aha.
We've seen it in the previous game.
Yes.
Yeah. Who needs rooks?
But Lauren, thank you very much for entertaining us tonight in this hour. We're so grateful that you've made some time for us, because it's important. What Calvin and I are trying to do is to chronicle South African history, and I'm sure in 5 years' time or 10 years' time, we will probably come back and interview you again, because I'm sure you would have gone on again to more honors, and hopefully one day you're going to tell us about that journey to China when you go Beifang or Beijing or wherever they are, because I mean they're doing the Winter Olympics now also in China at the moment, so lots of activities all over the place as well. So from my side, Lauren, thank you very much to you for showing us the two games and just giving us your thoughts. So thank you very much.
Thank you as well for giving me the platform to share my thoughts, and it's always fun to talk chess. I don't always get the time to play, but just to talk to people that are also playing chess, it's quite fun.
Great stuff. Yes, also from my side, thanks so much, Lauren, for joining in this evening, taking off some of your time. And yeah, it was lovely hearing some of your experiences. And by the way, Coach Roland has also just jumped into the chat here. He says it's a bit late, but welcome in any event, Coach Roland. Yes, that's so thanks again, Lauren, for joining us this evening. Dr. Boa, do you have anything on next week's show, or are we still gonna be in suspense?
Yes. No, look, I think I'm going to put it out there, Calvin, and then we'll hope for the best. But colleagues, the 2007 African champion is International Master Robert Gwazzi. He has just released a book now called The Life and Times of Robert Gwazzi, and he's agreed to be interviewed. So let's see if our connectivity holds and everything else holds for next Tuesday, then International Master Robert Gwazzi will be on the show, telling us a bit about his book, and also, of course, showing us some of his games. And for those of you that may be new to the show, that don't know who Robert is, besides winning the African Championship in 2007, he's also the first African gold medalist for board one at the 2002 Olympiad in Slovenia. No mean feat, 9 out of 9, 100% percentage there in Slovenia. So let's see. I will be, Calvin, you and I will hopefully be chatting to Robert next week. So thanks, Lauren, for setting the tone.
Yes, thanks everyone. Thanks, Lauren. Thanks, Dr. Boa. Thanks everyone in the chat. And have a lovely evening further. See you guys next time. Cheers.
Thank you, Calvin. See you, Lauren. See you, viewers.
Bye.
Bye.